Hey my dudes, how's it hanging? It's your boy ZNF1 here. So today I figured I'd put together a little emergency winter car kit video for you guys. Now, the reason why I want to do this is because I figured it'd be a good idea since it is winter time now. I know not everybody knows a lot of these things or has been taught things that can be really helpful in these situations to have on in your car. So I figured I'd go ahead and put a video together for you guys. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and hop right into this new video. Alright, so the first thing you're going to need, and it's really good just to have in general inside your car, is a first aid kit. So, the reason why a first aid kit is really good to have is because you never know when you might need it in case you get any cuts, scrapes, anything like that. It's always good to have, and then you generally want to have band-aids, sterile gauze, some scissors, some medical tape if possible, and basic medicines like aspirin, etc., etc. You never know, you might need those things. They're going to be really handy in these given emergency situations. And then next thing you're going to need would be some kitty litter or sand. So I got kitty litter right here. And the reason why it's important to have that during the winter is because it can help you get unstuck from snow in case you get stuck or happen to go off the road or anything like that. And what you do with it essentially is you put it in front of your tires, whichever one has the fullest power to it, whether you have rear wheel, front wheel drive, or all-wheel drive, etc., etc. It also can just really be helpful to put it in front of all four of your tires, that way you're more likely to get more traction overall. And that's if you're going forward. If backwards, etc., etc., you want to put it where it's going to be, the wheels are going to be spinning towards so you can get out easier. But it's also really helpful if you have a car that slides around a lot during the winter to have a couple bags of sand on the back end or in the trunk of your vehicle. Generally right above where the wheels are on it is the best place to put it at. And the more you have, the more likely it is to not slide. But you don't want too much on it because you don't want to overload your car or anything like that, or the shocks in your car. But that being said, the next best thing to have to go with that would be a shovel. I got a foldable one here, and I mean, you can use a regular garden shovel, but the reason why foldable shovels are so nice is because they are foldable and they're nice and compact and easy to work with, so it doesn't take up much space and it gets the job done efficiently. So this would be my recommendation, would be a foldable shovel. You can use a garden shovel, but it'll take up more space, so you have less space to put in other things as well. So then the next thing that you guys want to have would be blankets or sleeping bags or an emergency blanket. I generally carry a sleeping bag inside my vehicle with me, or some sort of blankets during the winter in case I get cold or in case I happen to slide off the road or anything. It's really good to have an emergency blanket though, because they are built and meant to reflect your body heat back at you to help keep you warm. And they also can double as a nice reflective item to use in case you want to signal anybody. And then a quick mention about these, they might be passed by the US Flammable Fabrics test, but they still can catch fire if they're too close to a flame, so be careful of that, and also be mindful to not puncture any holes in it, because if you do, you're going to lose heat and more cold air is going to be getting to you through that hole. And then the next thing you want to have is waterproof matches or something to start a fire with. Now, the reason why I say waterproof matches is because they're waterproof, so it's less likely to not work if they get water on them. And it's also really good to have a watertight container with these. That way you can prevent yourself from having to possibly deal with them being wet, so you can have a fire, And then the next good thing that is also really good to have would be like a tow rope. So the reason why a tow rope would be really good would be because in case you get stuck and you have a car or something and you need somebody to like help pull you out, it can be really helpful to have one of those to do it. And if you're going to have one of these, make sure you're hooking up to the right tow points on your vehicle. That way you're not breaking anything on your vehicle. And then another good thing to have would be your paracord or like zip ties. So I got both right here. And the reason why these are both so good is because you never know when you might need to fasten something down or tie something. And paracord's really good and handy whenever you're trying to make a like shelter of some sorts, or you need to like haul something and you have a tarp on you or anything like that, and it just makes it easier. You can lug it over your shoulder and just pull the rope instead of having to just carry stuff. But paracord is extremely handy and can be very nice in any emergency situation in general. So I'd recommend having that in there too, just in case you might need to build shelter or something. And zip ties essentially do the same thing. They have fastener ends on them, so they're tight and they stay in place a lot more. Paracord's also just a lot more snug and it's got more friction on it, so it makes things a lot better. Next things you might need would be an LED flashlight or like a LED lantern. So I have a portable flashlight here, which is always really good to have in general inside your car because you never know in case you might need it to go looking for something, or just so you can signal anybody or find anything or see. And same thing with this. The lantern's really nice because it is big and it stands out. Like this one particularly, you can change the color of it to red, and you can also make it a strobe. So it's really nice and handy to have that, and it also hangs up. So this one is called the Siege, and it's by Streamlight, and it's really good. I've used it before, and I love the shit out of it. It does work really well, and it's one that I would recommend personally. But it's always really good to have these in those situations because it makes things a lot easier to see and to potentially signal somebody. Now, another good thing to have in these situations obviously is going to be a knife. And the reason why you want a knife is because it just makes it easier to cut things, and if you have one that's got like a serrated end on it, it really does help too, because that can help to saw wood or like any sort of twigs you might need for fire. And it's always really nice and handy in these winter emergency kits to potentially include a handsaw or like a foldable handsaw, because those really can come in handy when it comes to getting firewood and stuff like that. So I definitely recommend that if possible. It really can be helpful. And then a couple other things that are also really handy would be some cups. So I have these polypropylene cups, but they will do the job. What you want to go with though would be a tin cup of some sorts, because you can put that over the fire and boil and melt snow. That way you can have good drinking water. With these, you can still melt snow with them. You just have to put them away from the fire, and it's going to take a lot longer to do that. With these, you got to make sure though, if you do have them, that you're putting them near the biggest heat source from the fire. That way it melts the snow in a decent time still. The next thing you want to have would be a battery jumper. So the reason why a battery jumper is really good is because you never know if you get stuck or you go off the road or anything like that, if your battery's going to die or anything like that at all. So the reason why these are good is just because they can give you extra power in those situations, and it can help out a lot with charging your battery in case you need it so you can stay heated, etc., etc. So I definitely recommend just having one of these in your vehicle in general though, and just because you never know when your vehicle might need a jump, and they really are handy to have in your vehicle throughout the year. Alright, so the last couple of items I'm going to mention on here are going to be like MREs or like canned goods of some sorts. So I got a couple MREs right here. They last for quite a long time generally, and they are really helpful and handy to have. These ones particularly, you just add some water to them and you can enjoy them. I got some of them too that also you just have to eat them by themselves. You don't need to add water or anything, and those are really, really helpful and beneficial in situations, so you don't have to get as much water. You can conserve your energy for staying warm or finding firewood, etc., etc. They also have these like big protein blocks now that you essentially don't even need any water to make or to prep them. You can just literally take bites out of them, and they have a lot of protein and stuff like that in them. I've seen them on a Canadian survival channel, which I'll leave a link down for that below. Really good channel, and they talk about that in their winter kit video. It's really cool, and I would highly recommend getting something like that if you can too. So if you guys did enjoy the video, please don't forget to, like, comment, and subscribe. It really does mean a lot to me whenever you guys do, and it shows to me what you all are liking. Also, felt like there's anything I could have included inside the video, please leave a comment down below. It really would mean a lot to me, and it'll help add to my knowledge on what might be good for a winter car kit and help other people out as well too. With that being said, I do hope that you guys enjoyed, and I hope that you all have a good rest of the day, and please don't forget to live long and prosper, and take care and peace, my dudes. See ya.